joined by manager Garrard. Disappointing result here against Woking. What are your initial thoughts on the game?
Got dealt with in all manners of the phrase. They're an excellent side at what they do, unforgiving, relentless. Spoke to the group about them, went and watched them on Wednesday. They went and had a real polished performance away at Bromley, and I think they've done the same this evening. For me, it was a side that had a hunger, bite, fight to them, and I questioned our lot at half time, and we huffed and puffed. I got to say, I think we could have been out there for another 3 days and probably wouldn't have worked Craig Ross. Taking nothing away from Woking, I'm not that guy. They deserved everything they got today. They managed the game superbly, played in areas. Cuthbert was outstanding. He was everything you want in a leader, a centre half. Their spine throughout. Yeah, load of plaudits go to Darren Sol and his Woking side. I've got to have a good think now and reflect on the side that I put out, the shape that I put out, and yeah, really go to town on that performance, because I stood here 7 days ago and said to you after Eastleigh, don't need to analyse anything, won a game of football. I need to analyse a lot, because you can't perform like you did in the first half against York and then react and then think you can perform today in that manner and expect to get anything from a game of football. If I'm a paying punter now, I'd be very disappointed with what was served up, and I'm the man at the helm. I've got to look at myself and look at what we're doing and what we're speaking about and how we're addressing things. But for me today, got everything we deserve, and that was nil point.
Yeah, well, you've mentioned many times before that in this league it's so important to start fast. Was there a lot of frustration that your team didn't do that today?
So all well and good starting fast, maybe have a middle fast and have an end fast. We just didn't have no fast. And this isn't, I'm not even emotional off the back of it. I'd rather lose games of football knowing that you was nowhere near at the races. And I don't want to lose games of football, don't get me wrong, but my fact of the matter is, with that point is, if you're going to play a team and you batter them and then you lose, that hurts. That hurts. Today hurts for another reason, that we got bullied all over the park. Bullied. To a man, we got bullied. But can't grumble, can't be upset. They deserved everything they got this afternoon. Fact. And it's not that we didn't address anything, how they play, how they work, what they do, and they do it superbly. I think Daly, I think Gregor Cox and Ammon first half led the line superbly. Didn't allow for us to get any good quality back to forward, and yeah, thoroughly deserved everything they got this afternoon. And the latter stages of the game, they managed it superbly. And no, you got no grumble from me. Yes, I'll watch that back tomorrow. I said to the group on Monday that reflect, have a look at yourself, and I'll ask some honest questions, and we'll go and debrief that, because for me that's not the level we need to ensure that we maintain a playoff charge. We've just gone out of the playoffs, we're sitting 8th, but we've won one game in the FA Cup in the last 5 or 6 now, and we've picked up 3 draws and 2 losses in the last 5 in the league, and unfortunately that's relegation form. The side we played against today, that's championship form being Woking, the way they've gone about their business in their last 5. We've had 5 games now that we've picked up 3 points. Not good enough.
No, and looking ahead for 5 games without a win, how are you going to help your team bounce back from this and looking forward?
I hope they don't take my kindness as a weakness, because that shouldn't be the case. I think we do our jobs. I think the management team assess things and 9 times out of 10 get things right. I take full responsibility of the performance today, 100%. I'm not hanging anyone out to dry, but I can't take responsibility for people that are pulling out of tackles and not winning headers and not running hard. They're simple basics in football. They're the fundamentals of getting results in any division, whether you're in the Prem or the Ryman Prem. But today, that wasn't the case. And like I said, I'm going to reflect, I'll watch the game back, and then I'll address the players on Monday. And there'll be some honest questions, because I think they need to have. Because I think that they led the line superbly, they won the battles in the middle of the park, and they defended like their lives depended on it. And if you get all them 3 bits right on any given day, you got 80-90% of winning a game of football. So they did that, superbly led by their gaffer, and we got to take our medicine, because we didn't deserve anything from the game.
Hardly any positives, but we did see a debutant today, Gordon. What do you think of his performance?
Indifferent. I thought he'd done some really good bits, and I thought, look, he's gone on loan at Boston last year, and he's knows the level in terms of the Conference North. I think that marries up to the National League more than any division being in the South and the North. Hammond, for me, at times led the line superbly against Femi and Jamal Fifield. So I'm not, again, isolating Kai. I think there's some question marks on other people's performances. He got man of the match, and I have to say I think that was probably deserved. And I'm not saying that he was good or great. I think that he was probably the best of a bad bunch. And that's not a slant on the kid. He's come in, he's game. You can see that he's willing, he wants to work hard and wants to try for the team. But unfortunately, when you've got 7 or 8 against or other players in your team that don't perform, it's always hard for a debutant. So we just need to ensure that we watch it back, we reflect, and we go again on Monday.
Yeah, and finally, I just asked how Newton is. We saw him get limping off. Is it anything serious, or do you just not know yet?
He thinks it's ligaments, and that was something that he said on in the dressing room just then. He knows his body. He feels that was the similar sort of issue that he got last year. So yeah, he straight away made eye contact with the bench and started doing the sub sign. And no disrespect, he's someone that he'd run through a brick wall for you. So you know that he's hurt when he's doing that himself. But again, we'll assess it on Monday. We've got a good medical team that will assess it, and hopefully, fingers crossed, it's not as bad as first feared. But we need to ensure that he's looked after. We've got players and personnel in the building. I'm not asking or arguing the fact that we've got other people that can take his place, but I think he's been everything you want in a striker in the last 4 to 5 weeks, and it's just a shame that he's gone and got a niggle.